Hi, I'm Matt Citrick from the Whiskey Crusaders. Welcome to the Whiskey Vault. As you can see, obviously, we're not in the Whiskey Vault. We're in the Whiskey Castle, which, of course, is in Hearst, Texas. Beautiful place that it is up here. As you can see, we are going to review Rough Rider whiskey. Now, why is this important? When I first started watching the Whiskey Vault back in the day, Daniel actually wore a hat by a Rough Rider. And this is important to me, the simple fact my great grandfather actually was a Rough Rider. In fact, I sent Daniel a bottle of this and a picture of my great grandfather, and it now hangs over in the Fang and Feather to this day. So, of course, this is a super important thing to me. It ties down together, ties my family together, ties history together, which I love history. And I think we all love history on the channel. I'm obviously super nerdy, as you guys have known. So, of course, we have Long Island Spirits, which at the time, when it was founded in 2007, which is crazy. This was the 100th distillery in America at the time, which is totally wild. And today there's over 3,000 craft distilleries, which is just insane that that's the case. But, really cool that back then there was only 100, and now there's so many. But cool, awesome. So, of course, like I said, back then it was mostly a bunch of potato farms and other crops on there. And in fact, there were before World War II, there were 200,000 crops just of potatoes to feed New York City, which is wild. Now, of course, there's farms for corn, rye, barley, and of course, still potatoes. There's 5,000 out there. Long Island Spirits is out there in North Fork, Long Island. Out there are, of course, 60 different wineries, a bunch of pre-Revolutionary War homes, and beautiful things like that. Some of the unique things about them is they use champagne and brewer's yeast. They use a custom-made 650-gallon copper pot still that is actually triple distilled, which is unique. That, of course, most bourbons are double distilled, but they use a triple distillation method. The other cool thing about them is that back in the day, it was also where these things called bootleggers, and you have this awesome farm. And how do you let the bootleggers know you're coming? You hang a lantern. We have lanterns in here. They're really cool. And so when lenders know, they say, hey, it's time to bring in the whiskey or the rum, whatever other fun thing was out there. The rum runners back in the day, people like the Cuddy Sark and awesome things like that would actually run through this farm. What better place than to start a distillery on a former bootlegger's property, farm, and all the other fun stuff. Now, the other unique thing about them is that this farm and this specific rye that grows there only grows on Long Island. It doesn't grow anywhere else in the world. So it's a really unique rye that they're growing there. And it's a similar climate to Bordeaux, France. So very unique place to it. Now, we'll go back to the history of course, Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders. Now, back in 1898, of course, the Rough Riders were formed by Teddy Roosevelt, and he was, of course, the Assistant Secretary of the Navy, along with the White House doctor, Leonard Wood. So they got a bunch of ragtag fellows, they're miners, Ivy Leagues, cowboys, Indians, policemen, people looking out French, 137 guys. They'd eventually go down to Cuba during the Spanish-American War, and of course they would win the Battle of Santiago and the capture of San Juan Hill. Now, at the Battle of San Juan Hill, which is the part that really is wild for the story, is my great-grandfather's there. And in fact, he was shot. And there was the only reason that I'm even here today is because of this, is he had a pocket watch on. And that pocket watch actually saved his life. If it wasn't for that pocket watch, my entire family history is not here. I'm not making this cool video for you guys. So that's why this is a super important thing to me about Rough Rider and having a whiskey, and that he's an actual Rough Rider. And like I said, this beautiful bottle here. It's got a Rough Rider, got Teddy on there, which is cool. I actually been to Teddy Roosevelt's house. It's really cool. It's like 4 stories, lots of dark, lots of dead animals. Teddy, of course, is a huge hunter and all that fun stuff, which really appreciate that. The other wild thing is, at the end of the war, at Montauk Point, all the soldiers were taken there and quarantined for the summer because, lots of lovely diseases were coming from the Caribbean at that point in time. We know a lot about taking care of the sanitary conditions and whatnot at that point. So they hung out there for the summer. So, like I said, this distillery is about 7 miles away from there now. Beautiful place. So this particular bourbon is made with a 60% corn, 33% winter rye, like it's the only grows there in Long Island, and 7% malted barley. The other cool part is they actually finished this in ex-brandy French wine casks that is made from the winer that they also own their Long Island Spirits of Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Merlot grapes that they also sent out and private label them to other wineries as well. Now, of course, it's originally started as an MGP, but this is their own stuff. So I'm going to tell you guys a few tasting notes here, what we think of it, and give you a little bit more story time. Beautiful caramel, vanilla oak, a little bit of grape, honeydew, cantaloupe, cinnamon, salt, lavender, a little bit of violet, candy floss. It's very clean, like a grassy meadow, dryer sheets, aromatic bitters, clove, tobacco leaf. Smells wonderful as far as I'm concerned. Let's see what it tastes like. Mm, good stuff. Got this like rock and rye flavor to it. You had the old candies like that. Apricot, bowl peanuts, the sweet cherry in there. Of course, oak barrel char. It's very oily. Butterscotch, caramel, cinnamon, black pepper. Same thing. That lavender's there, still there. Old fashioned orange, like an orange bitter with an old fashioned. Some fig. It's just a really great whiskey. If you haven't had a chance to try it, though, it's quite good. Really enjoy it. But it's fun. It's like I said, what better place to enjoy a Rough Rider here than in a whiskey castle? Because it's fun. For us, of course, the biggest thing about this is building community, and that's the important part to us. Is about that. You know, you can obviously can check us out. Want more information about us? Check out the Whiskey Castle. Like I said, we're in Hurst, Texas. You can also check us out on YouTube or on the Facebook, Instagram, all those fun things. The Whiskey Crusaders Whiskey Castle, all those good things. So once again, thanks, Anna, for giving the opportunity to do this, and really excited to talk about Rough Riders and then the beautiful community that it's deserved. And once again, and he also, my grandfather got a letter home to his family because came out an article in the paper that says, "Hey, by the way, first Long Island boy killed." He goes, "I'm not dead, by the way." And Teddy Roosevelt, in fact, came up to my great grandfather who was laying over his horse at that time. He's like, "Why is this man laying on his horse?" It's like, "Sir, that man's been shot." So, we'll carry on then. So I'll leave you guys with that beautiful story about my grandfather. And so here we go. The best thing I can say to you guys is I'm just really glad you're here. Cheers.